Hey the internet, this is Lock. Usually when I talk about games, accessibility and inclusion are very important topics for me, but today we're going to take a little break from that to talk about a game that is meant for grown-ups. The game is The Secret World, and I think you should play it if you haven't already. You may have heard by now that Funcom, the studio behind The Secret World, is having some financial problems and is looking to be purchased. Since these kind of talks tend to happen behind firmly closed doors, we can only assume the situation has reached a critical point, and I can't help but feel sad about it. Obviously, the real issue is that hardworking and talented folks working at Funcom right now might be out of a dream job, and obviously our thoughts go out to them in this difficult time. I hope everything works out for the best in the long run, and they continue to have opportunities to make cool stuff. In terms of how this affects those of us much further down the line, we could well lose the opportunity to enjoy their work entirely. The Secret World is a game I will always enthusiastically recommend whenever it gets brought up, especially during Steam sales. It's generally accepted that the best parts of Star Wars: The Old Republic is the voice story elements, and for me The Secret World is absolutely superior in this regard. It doesn't have the BioWare red-blue point scoring systems, but where it counts, it's meaty as hell, from voice acting to stories, all the way to the thematic foundation. It actually has a thematic foundation, and it needs one. The way the game is set up to cleverly subvert the familiar has to be grounded in what we take for granted as players, and the game delights in pulling the rug out from under you. And one of the most pleasant surprises is in the questing content. It's incredibly varied, it's extremely layered, it's full of intrigue, there's a lot of ambiguity, moral and otherwise, and if the player allows themselves to be taken along for the ride, the story along with the environments will create an atmosphere and a context that will make you feel invested and, dare I say it, immersed in the world. The game itself is based on an alternate version of our own world. The shorthand is where all the stories are true. It's a huge break and an extremely risky move in a landscape of much safer genre offerings. The Secret World feels more like it was born out of the comics that showed comics could be for grown-ups. From especially the late 80s, early 90s, stories from Neil Gaiman like Sandman or pretty much anything by Alan Moore. There's definitely more than a passing resemblance to Constantine in the game. Some of the artwork and a few of the characters borrow heavily from the Hellblazer series, I think. And the game is just unashamedly adult in the same way that those comics are, not in a open and incognito window way, but in a deliberate effort to stake a claim as the version of this medium that is for grown-ups. And yes, some of the swearing clangs a bit, and scenes of a sexual nature feel very awkward in an uncanny valley sort of way, but on the whole it offers what other games can't, and it creates the high watermark for maturity in an extremely adolescent medium. And I think whether that sounds appealing or not is a matter of personal taste. I'm certainly not above a light-hearted hero fantasy, but there does come a time when one wonders if there's anything else to this MMO lark. A couple of decades down the line, is there now room for MMOs for a grown-up audience? And again, if it sounds like I'm trying to convince you to try this game, I am. That's what I'm here for. Not because I think you'll still be playing it for 100 hours a week in 20 years, as is the current standard for an MMO, lest it be branded a failure, but because where this game raises the bar, it reaches heights you might not have thought possible. You might not have considered the directions that it goes in. And of course, the achievements that it has are tempered by the fact that many elements are a little rough around the edges. Overall, it's quite a lopsided experience. It's clear that tough decisions had to be made when it came to allocating budget, and while the foundation of the story and the world are wonderful. The foundation of the core gameplay has been left a little bit wonky. And when it comes down to it, I think in the same way I feel about Star Wars: The Old Republic, I think that the game may have been better off as a single-player RPG. I think the strengths of the game are all elements that work better as single-player systems, and the game is targeted at a demographic who are less likely to have time to log in for multiple hours every day and play a massively multiplayer game in that way. So sure, it's not perfect, but what is? What is? And it's certainly more interesting, and hopefully will turn out to be a more important game than some also-rans that we've all played. So I will continue to recommend this game every chance I get, because the way things are, I might not get too many more chances to. We're moving into a time when more and more MMOs will be closing up shop. It's gonna start happening more often, and if this is the end of the secret world, it would be an absolute tragedy for any MMO or RPG enthusiast to miss out. So what do you think? Is the secret world unmissable, or do you think it should have been kept a secret to begin with? But please let us know in the comments below. Give this video a like for visibility if you think the discussion is worth having, if you think that games for grown-ups is a thing that should happen, or you know, click the downvote button if you've got nothing of any worth in your life, and subscribe for many wonderful things from fabulous people, and I will see you again really soon. Thanks, bye.
Make sure to level up your MMO knowledge by visiting MMORPG.com, subscribing to our YouTube channel, and by following us on social media. To catch up on the week's biggest MMO news, watch our latest MMO FTW. And to see if there's a better MMO out there for you, watch one of our latest First Impressions videos. Thanks for watching.